let's go.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need the G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sentence. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need the G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sentence.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now the king left and they so mad, it's like
yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need the G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sentence. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need the G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sentence.
yeah, hey, look what I got. New whip with no top. Cooking up no stove top. Ice cold, no snowdrop. Big budget has big facts. Big money in the contract. Been running no contact. New record with the new tracks. Yeah, they been sending me new plaques. I don't really need new plaques. Nah, big rock with the suplex. Yeah, new rock got a new flex. Yeah, I'm current, I'm a new trend. Now boys with the full scent. Yeah, like I said, no new friends. We don't really need new friends.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need the G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sentence. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need the G-Wagons. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sentence.
This is that one song that you heard so many times, and every time you hear it, you're like, I'm not gonna bump to this song. But then you start catching a vibe. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
East Coast with the gang gang. West Coast with the gang gang. Love with the gang gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang. West Coast with the gang gang. Love with the gang gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang. West Coast with the gang gang. Love with the gang gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang. West Coast with the gang gang. Love with the gang gang. You know.
Yeah, whoa, East Coast with that gang gang. You know we don't play games, whoa. Hop up on that wagon, oh please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry, we just stuck up in our ways. West Coast gon' head stand up, put that glass and hands up. Gang, we famed up, got that change, we bagged up. Cool love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm wheezy, yeah. Rap game just too easy, drip so sick I'm queasy, whoa.
East Coast with the gang gang. West Coast with the gang gang. Love with the gang gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang. West Coast with the gang gang. Love with the gang gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang. West Coast with the gang gang. Love with the gang gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang. West Coast with the gang gang. Love with the gang gang.
Yeah. Watch me finesse, walk walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Our time to shine. Wifey is fine, I'm doing fine. Glad that you asked. God fill me up, mud in my glass. God clean me up, all that I ask. Wherever you headed there fast. I am ahead, you are in last. Last time I checked, you were all gas. Gas in the whip it up fast. Fast and all furious, I'm starting to spaz. Getting all curious, you put me on blast. Blasting that Darius, kids in the back. Back to the future is black. Black like T'Challa, Wakanda attack. Oh. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Level with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Level with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Level with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Level with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang.
Why don't you get the hell out of here before I snap your dick off and jam it into your ass?
I just wanna win on the low, like you making demands, I said whoa. Wanna win on the low, low. Ask me where I've been, I said don't know. You making demands, I said whoa, whoa. She wanna be friends, I said no, no. Hey, yeah, whoa. My soul is stuck between dark and the light, it's like playing some musical chairs. They kicked me out, so I started a life, made a bag that was bigger than theirs. I win and I lose and I win and again, I can see why they think that's unfair. We putting the work and we making them bends, to be honest, I don't really share. You rolling with hitters, I don't understand. You killing good people, that wasn't the plan. Round of the game, come get your mans. He selling his soul for a couple of bands. I opened his eyes, lifted a hand. As far as you see, this is all of my land. Cause I've been through hell, then I came back. That's the one reason I don't give a damn. Whoa, devil knocked and I buzz him in. This is life with the son of man. Poured a drink, half a dozen in. Threw my head for a sudden spin. Sad story with my violin. All these problems start to pile in.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown.
Two-faced, thought you had a twin. I just wanna win on the low, low. Ask me where I've been, I said don't. You making demands, I said whoa, whoa. She wanna be friends, I said no.
Dodson,
no.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here.
Ask me where I've been, I said don't know. You making demands, I said whoa, whoa. She wanna be friends, I said no, no.
This is Milford Cubicle.
Mr. Strickland.
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Inconceivable!
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Here's
diet culture.
Hi everybody, this is just a friendly reminder that diets do not work.
Swallow this.
I see fat people.
How often do you see them?
All the fucking time.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Full Normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Welcome everyone to 3098 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busses, hustlers, and yo hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. And today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you as powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2 Flexing on all you beaches. All right, fam, welcome to the show. Welcome to 3098. Make sure you hit the like button. We are live on Rumble, rumble.com/The Daily Swole. And of course, make sure you leave a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcast. And check out all the links down below, because if you don't know, you can call into the show anytime, ask a question over at askpapaswolio.com. and get on the email list and all that stuff. It's in the links down below, but you can submit a question. You can call into the show. Happy to feature you on the podcast. And of course, we'll get into some questions later on in today's episode. Before we move into the tip, I want to remind you, we talked about it yesterday, that this signature series release, it will be available in 2 días. So if you don't know, this is a one-time 24-hour release only. And we do this every 100 episodes. We've been doing it since episode 2000. This is the 12th edition. And this is a special one because it is an ugly Christmas sweatshirt. And it will be shipping shortly afterwards. So you can wear it and have it in time. So this is going to be a quick ship. So make sure that you are ready for that from midnight to midnight on the 31st. Okay, so it's available for one day only. swolenormousx.com/signature. So it's going to be awesome. All right. Ugly Christmas sweatshirt. It's coming. 10/31. I love how Halloween is the day of episode 3100. That's fire. That's fire. All right. Let's get into today's episode. Are you ready, beaches? Here we go. Time for some tippy-tippy. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, today's first Wolfam post is from Brian. Brian says, hey everyone, my name's Brian, 41 years old. I've admired the way Papa Swolio shoots from the hip on the Daily Swole with fantastic and useful knowledge for the past year. I've been lifting on and off for 20 years, filled with injuries because by following dangerous and outdated fitness advice, and I'm very excited to begin an improved fitness journey with the Swole fam and programs within Swole Enormous X. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to the fam, Brian. Not to mention, the Swole Enormous app will be launching soon, so that's just the best time to join. And that's a great age, Brian. It's the same age as me, so that's the best age possible, of course. So welcome to the fam, Brian. Stoked to have you, and feel free to join in on the podcast, submit a question. Make sure you get in the private groups, the Telegram chats, and all that stuff. Don't forget, I don't know if I showed you this one yet, the Swole card is Make America Swole. Of course, if you're a member, you got your Swole text, so you know what the hashtag is. That's why a lot of people drop the hashtag before I even show you on the live stream. That's how people know, because they're members over at swolenormousx.com. Make America Swole, hashtag Make America Swole, for a chance to win today's Swole card, and we'll give that away at the end of today's episode. And of course, the Tainty Man, he's the sleepies. He's just resting. He's chilling. We're all chilling, ready to get into a great show. We're also going to get into some other topics today, referring to Kamala Harris and her appearance or lack thereof on the Joe Rogan Experience. We're going to talk a little bit about early voting and some things to keep an eye out for. So we'll get into those stories when we get into the balls deep section. Of course, we have some balls deep videos that we're going to get into that are probably going to be horrifying, as they're probably going to continue to be more and more horrifying as we get deeper into election. It shouldn't be election season. I'm such a proponent of one-day voting, paper ballots. Just count the shit. Anything electronic is just a hot mess. It's a hot mess. How can you trust that? Anyway, next post.
What's in the box?
Kylie in the house. We'll get into that later, though. Hey, fam, I'm hopping on here for some advice. All right, fam, put on your advice hats. Here we go. In the last few weeks, I've been on the elimination diet. I'm not perfect, but every day is better. I've been working on getting to sleep at the same time every night and improving the quality of my sleep. However, in the last month, I have lost a lot of drive for my work, for spending time with friends, basically everything. I will not say I've lost, quote, motivation, because that's not the key. I understand discipline is, but also knowing that nutrition and sleep play a big role in how our minds and bodies function. I'm looking for advice on how to get my drive back. I felt low energy, lack of drive to go to work, even sometimes the gym, even though I go no matter what. I'm in sales, so this has been affecting my paychecks also. Advice on things to do come out of the burnt out phase would be appreciated. I might get a dog to give me something else to focus on. LOL. Thanks in advance, fam. And like always, go to the fucking gym. I really don't think, dogs are great. We have 3, so I'm not going to say that dogs are not good, but it's also couldn't be, you get a puppy, that's going to be a source of stress. It's going to spread your attention thin. And I don't think that's the answer. People oftentimes, they think moving, I need to go to a different location. Sometimes that can help, but understand they go on vacations. They think they're going to run away from their problems. But you're bringing your own shitty self with you. So just moving to a different spot, moving across the country, changing things doesn't really change you. You really have to deal with what's going on with you. That should be something that's more stable, irrelevant of some of the things. Of course, environment matters and other things do matter, but you're probably just trying to shift the focus when you should be working on yourself and looking for some sort of external validation or external reason that's going to, well, if I get a dog, everything's going to get better. I don't agree. Even though dogs are great, but you could drop your thoughts in the comments down below. That could come, but you have to focus on yourself first. So Kylie, I don't know where does Kylie live? I forget if this is, I always forget which screen names are which. It's so confusing sometimes where who is who, and when I see the screen names on Rumble or YouTube, it's just you guys pop around to the Telegram, and sometimes I don't know who is who. I think this is Miss Texas, right? She has some stuff going on. Well, understand also, a lot of times with mood, this is the winter season for a lot of you. So vitamin D is important, magnesium supplementation, nutrition, very important. So even if you're in southern states, you're not getting the same type of sunlight that you are in the summer. So that's something to keep in mind. Purpose matters. What happens is sometimes you see how eroded your foundation is when things get tough. And this is why people fall off, or they stop doing what they should be doing. Their habits fall apart because they don't really have the proper foundations. And this is why people stop being consistent. I'm not talking about Kylie in particular, it just brings up the topic. When you have your purpose, when you have your reasons, you're able to weather the storms more effectively. But the last month is October. So vitamin D deficiency is a big reason for people to lose their mood so I don't know what other habits are going on with Kylie. There's obviously some other things, but nutrition's going to be a big one. Vitamin D is also a big one. Seasonal affective disorder, which is really just, that bullshit. Well, it's a seasonal disorder. Yeah, it's called winter. It's called your mood. It's called changing of nutrition. And just keep in mind that the food that we eat doesn't have all the dense vitamins and minerals. We're losing a lot of nutrients. Even when the cows are eating grass-fed beef, it's still not the same kind of nutrient density that it used to be because of the topsoils and stuff like that. Just keep that in mind. Even, obviously regenerative agriculture is better, but it depends on where you're getting your meat from. These supplements are very inexpensive, magnesium and vitamin D and stuff like that. Meditation, for sure. So we really need more context. This is not psychologist couch, but trying to throw out some things. A lot of times people that have these types of nutrient deficiencies will also have these shifts. Common this time of year. Mark, accountability text from the fam. Mark says, I'm going to continue to focus on something I've been for a while now, but more recently, and that's cutting people off. Recently ended a 10-year friendship with someone because of my improved lifestyle, was constantly getting shit for strictly sticking to meat, rice, and fruit, cooking my food in either beef tallow or Irish butter, as well as implementing a sleep schedule so I can get at least 7 hours and wake up at 3:30 in the morning to go to the gym before work. After listening to how stupid my choices were and being made fun of for it, I finally snapped and said that I'm doing this because I would like to live a long, healthy, and prosperous life as I get older, so I don't have to end up in a hospital bed hooked up to multiple machines and being pumped full of every crappy medicine just to keep me alive. I said that I am someone that is not a can't/won't, and unlike how I was in the past. Not making excuses for myself. In order for me to move forward, I need to be willing to do the things that will benefit me in the long run. And I told him, if cutting you off means I can have a little peace of mind, so be it. Just because you don't want to take the necessary steps to be healthy does not mean you get to shit on me for making that effort. I told him I'm done with them and their bullshit, and to enjoy whatever crappy life they have stuffing their face with food and drinking alcohol. I refuse to have those types of people in my life. It hurt. I'm not going to lie, but since being a part of the Swole fam, it cuts off. And the Wolf fam obviously talk to text or speak to text or spell correct a few times here, but this is all text message. I do understand that there's spelling errors sometimes, so I'm trying to read through it and simplify for the podcast. But yeah, this is important, and it doesn't mean be an asshole. A lot of people are trying to tiptoe over these things, and with the intent of not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but being honest is important. And no one has the right to give you shit. I shouldn't say no one has the right, but no one has the right to your mental state, right? No one has the right to your well-being. No one has that right to manipulate that. I mean, of course, it's up to you. So Mark has the choice to allow that in his circle and to keep that around or to cut that out. So no one has the right to manipulate you. But this has to come to your understanding that you are in control of whether or not you allow that manipulation to occur. So if someone's going to be negative, distance yourself. You have to. They're not good for you. They're just not. And I'm not sitting here saying, get rid of all your friends. But honestly, most people, this is unfortunately true. Most people are not taking care of themselves. Most people do not want to improve themselves. Most people are stuck just watching sports all the time, just completely unplugging because they have nothing to plug into. They have no locus of control. They outsource everything that they need. They take no responsibility. Everything is just instant gratification, right? Whether it's drinking alcohol or eating garbage food or the next game and whatever, watching other people do things, commiserating, talking crap about how work sucks and blah, blah, blah. They don't care. It's just unfortunate that that's usually the majority. So you have to distance yourself from the majority. That's usually how it works. This is why the Swole fam is important. And you can find people that are looking to improve themselves. And it doesn't mean that everyone in the Swole fam is doing awesome all the time. That's not the point. You're not going to be doing awesome all the time. There are people that are millionaires and billionaires that commit suicide and are addicted to all these drugs and terrible behaviors and miserable and up to their eyeballs in debt. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you don't have a lot of debt. A lot of people, they have a nice car and a nice house. A lot of these people are still living paycheck to paycheck because they're living well above their means. They're maxing out everything to live a life that they don't personally care about. They project onto other people. You need to have the newest X, Y, and Z. It's to show other people that you have this. More often than not, it's not for them. And they don't realize it. They're just doing what they see other people do and what they want to be socially accepted as because they have nothing inside. So they project it like, hey, look, this is me. These are the things that I have. Look at how awesome I am. It's an empty, vapid existence. And a lot of people are satisfied with that. And this is why they continue to be broke. They continue to struggle. It's because they're trying to be something that they're not. So it's important to cut that shit out. Riley says, I want to be more intentional with brain gains. Last accountability text, and we'll move on. I'm already in the daily habit of doing 10-minute daily brain gains in the morning, but haven't been able to apply the practice throughout the day. So this week, I want to recognize opportunities when I am stressed throughout the day. Once that happens, I'm going to take 5 deep breaths and center myself. I know it'll happen on my commute this week, so I'll plan on doing my breathing exercises in the car as well. There you go. Good stuff. All right, let's get into, we have emails today. We do have 2 email responses. So if you're not on the email list, we'll get into questions in a moment. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com. If you're not on the email list, links are down below. Makeemailswoleagain.com. Sign up. It's free, and you'll get the latest and the updates. Of course, when the app drops, after members get first dibs, you'll be notified via email. So that's a great place to be. You'll be notified. Responding to the email, don't feel like training today. George says, Papa, you were spot on. I did not want to work out today. I know, George. I know. I got my foot in the door, got my stretching done, and ended up with a solid leg day lift. Worked the nutrition afterward with a nice grilled chicken Caesar salad for dinner. Dessert will feature 8 of sleep. All right, good for you. I'm not a fan of the whole chicken Caesar salad. Caesar dressing's garbage. And I don't eat what my food eats. But the chicken's good. How about the chicken? How about some extra chicken? Don't fill your body up with fluff and vegetable oils and stuff. Hopefully you didn't put garbage on your chicken. All right, so I'm going to shit on you a little bit, George, but good for you. Good for you. How about a steak? Let's eat some beef there. Veggies with veggies. Chicken's a vegetable, by the way. All right. Tanya sent us an email and says, sorry, the time difference prevents me from asking live questions most of the time. Well, you can also call into the show, askpapaswolio.com. You can call in and we'll feature you. Tanya's asking, does grip position affect muscle recruitment when doing barbell rows? For example, does an underhand grip activate mid or lower back muscles more, or is it better to use an overhand grip? I'm trying to strengthen my mid back muscles and my lower back muscles, as well as my shoulder girdle muscles to prevent over trap compensation. You're overthinking this. I mean, you just said, I'm trying to strengthen my mid back, my lower back, and my shoulder. So you're talking about your entire body. You're talking about your entire back. Yes, elbow position matters. The position of the humerus. Underhand is going to be, in general, underhand, you're going to be in a more of a I don't say that this way. If you're underhand, you're going to be in a little bit more of a lat position because your elbows are more tucked in. If you're overhand, you will have, just ergonomically, you're going to have more of an elbow flare. So it will hit a little bit more of your upper back musculature, and mid back. So if you're doing a bent over row, you're working your spinal erectors isometrically. But let me be clear, that's not the best position. If you really want to target your back musculature, you can do this with different things. You could work your lower back. See, if you want to work your lower back, you could do Jefferson curls. You could do 45. You could do hyperextensions. You could do RDLs. You could do deadlifts. There's a lot of different things that are going to work your back musculature. Remember, you're working them isometrically. You're not really working that flexion and extension, which you'll get from Jefferson curls, for example. So you're trying to work all the individual muscles of the spine and work that kind of mobility and range of motion. Jefferson curls are tremendous. But there's a lot of different ways. Most hip hinges will hit that lower back. So if you're doing barbell rows, there's nothing wrong with barbell rows. I did them all the time, but I've seen much more progress by doing a chest supported row. So the grip position, underhand or overhand, is irrelevant. But the reason why it is relevant, because this position, this doesn't do anything with your back. What it does do is if you're trying to get an underhand grip, you're not going to be like a wide grip, like, underhand like this. It's not going to work unless you have a bar where you can have like a neutral grip. So if you're talking about specifically the barbell row, an underhand grip, your elbows are going to be more tucked in by your sides. And if you're an overhand grip, you're going to have a little bit more flare. So it will shift, but also depends on where you're pulling. If you're doing more of a Dorian Yates style row, like a low row, where you come more upright, hit more of the lats. So I would just look into some chest supported row, doing like a T-bar row with your elbows more flared. And then if you want to target the lats more, you tuck your elbows more towards the body. And you could do, of course, from a high position, from a, I would say, just more of a neutral position. If you're doing a cable row to hit more of the lats, both are going to be fine. You can mix it up with a high row or, more of a neutral 0-degree position, so to speak. So a lot of those things don't matter as much as whether or not the exercise is stable and you're able to progressively overload it effectively. So you're talking about a bunch of things. I'm trying to strengthen my mid back, my lower back, and my shoulder girdle. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to train my entire body too. So shoulder girdle is different. Shoulder girdle is different than your mid back. There's different exercise. So if you're trying to get the mid back, you want to make sure you're getting scapular retraction, protraction, and retraction. Shoulder girdle is going to be a few things. Shoulder girdle is going to be rotator cuff. Shoulder girdle is going to be deltoid. It's going to be lats. It's going to be pectoral. So there are a lot of muscles that attach to the shoulder girdle. But the rotator cuff is really for the shoulder girdle stability. So over trap compensation, I'm not sure what that means. It's great to train the traps, but what you might be saying is middle and lower traps, which is fine. It's scapular depression, retraction, and I still think that shrugs are fantastic. I just don't like standing shrugs. I prefer doing Kelso shrugs. So I do shrugs on like a high incline for a bench, and it's a better angle because the upper traps really aren't that big. You really want to hit more of the lower fibers and like the middle traps. If you really want that thick trap look, it's not really a vertical shrug as much as it's kind of like a little bit up and back. So leaning on an incline. Kelso shrugs, you could look that up, but that's a fantastic way. There's many ways to do it. Dumbbells, you could do it on a T-bar row machine. You could do it on certain row machines are great. You could just do the retractions. You could do that at the end of a set or a sequence for T-bar rows. You could do it on a Smith machine. So hopefully that gives you some insights. So I would say that the grip position doesn't matter, but the grip position will, based on like, it's really where your humerus is. So if you're underhand, you're really not going to be a wide position. That'd be a weird thing. If you're talking about specifically barbell rows with the bar. Okay, that being said, let's get into some knowledge cock. That was a lot already. I know we kind of went deeper than you expected.
You switched the samples.
That's how you like it. Okay, so let's do this. You can start dropping your questions in the comments, hashtag #AskPapaSwolio, and then we'll get into some more topics. Let's see, lithium ferrate. Okie dokie. Mr. Table of the Elements here. Unrelated. Well, it's related now. Should I be feeling my pecs on an overhead press? Light pec work, it seems. It depends on how you're doing the press. If your elbows are more to the front, yeah. If you're leaning back, a lot of shoulder press machines, if you're more of a neutral grip, it's a really good upper pec exercise. So if you want to hit more of the anterior deltoid and the middle deltoid, then you want to keep it more, you want more shoulder, I wouldn't say external rotation, but you want more shoulder abduction. So if you're out here more, it's going to be more anterior deltoid and middle deltoid. But then if you bring more to the front, I don't go straight up on my presses. If I'm on a Smith machine or my shoulder press machine, I'll be leaning back a little bit. If my elbows are more to the front, you'll get more anterior deltoid, but you'll also get more upper pec. There's nothing, and again, there's really nothing wrong with any movement. Behind the neck presses or pull downs, like any movement is good if it's good for you. So if you progressively overload any movement, it's going to be good. But if you never do a Jefferson curl and all of a sudden try to do it with a deadlift, you're going to rip your back apart. It's like trying to max out when you've never lifted before. So there's really no bad movement. It's totally fine. Totally fine coming to the front. Depends on what you're trying to hit. Okay, any more questions? Someone's saying there's some issues with streaming. It's on your end. We're 100%. Everyone looks like it's doing good. Yeah, Rumble's good. Everything's good. Okay, let's see. Question time. Here we go.
What's in the box?
Thad PHF. Question. Opinion on alcohol and gym. Alcohol's not good. There's no application for it. It's poison, essentially. So that's my opinion on it. I haven't drank in a few years. It's just not good. That's my opinion. It's also true. There's no benefit to it. It's not helping you at all. Okay, let's see. Jen says, I was having issues too. My app went haywire, but I updated it and refreshed. It's all good. Good to know. Yeah, make sure with any apps, make sure you check your app store and make sure you keep your apps updated. Is alternating between behind the neck press and front shoulder press actually a worthwhile investment, or did I fall for a fad? What do you mean alternating? Like doing a press, like in the same exercise? Again, progressive overload. Pick which one you feel the best, that you like the best, and then, progressively overload. There's nothing bad with a behind the neck press if you can do it. Everyone's kinesiology, some people can't really get that position because they haven't trained for it or their shoulder capsule's a little bit more closed off. Everyone's a little bit different. So if you feel something, again, you're not going to build any more muscle with the behind the neck press than in front of the body. Personally, I like more of like a high incline. Straight up, it's just not a really good position. Depends on if you're on a bar or a machine and you have to clear your face. It's kind of an awkward position or you're extending a lot. Pete Avery, Papa Swolio, what's your thoughts on calisthenics against heavyweight training? I'm assuming there's a T missing. Against? You're talking about two completely different things. What are my thoughts? Whenever someone asks me my thoughts, I don't know what thoughts you want. And I'm not going to give you the thoughts that you want. I'm going to give you my thoughts. But again, I would like some context, So again, I can't really answer this question. What are my thoughts on calisthenics against heavyweight training to build muscle? Then we can have a conversation. But it's like, what do you think about sailing and rock climbing? One's on the sea and one is on the land. What are my thoughts in terms of what? What are your thoughts of calisthenics and weight training for improving mathematics competency? I would actually say weight training because you're counting up the bar and you're doing all these different right? Calculations. Anyway, so my thoughts for building muscle, heavyweight training, superior, 100,000%. For building muscle, there's other benefits for calisthenics or doing pull-ups and stuff, but building muscle and muscle mass is essential. Cara Alexis 03, is cottage cheese healthy? Again, healthy is a relative term. Some people can handle dairy better. If you're having like raw dairy, grass-fed and finished, if you're having a healthier source, you're going to have a much better time with it. So you can find these places. We've talked about great farms where you can find raw dairy or A2 casein and goat dairy and all these different types of things. And they're much better options. Some people are still going to have issues from growing up and they might have some sensitivities, but kefir, I really like. I don't drink straight raw dairy like milk because I'll just get indigestion. It doesn't work great for me, but kefir is great. Yogurt's great. Raw dairy and quality. Again, it's the quality. But dairy is fantastic if you have healthy animals and quality sources. La Fixie Ride. Papa Swolio, how many times do I need to go to the gym? I don't know. Sounds like more than you're actually going, but more isn't always better. So can't even answer that question. That was a retarded question. Let's be honest. That was retarded. Only one Bash Bolad. Thank God that name sucks. Glad there's only one, not two. How? Oh God, I didn't even read the question yet. How can I get more results? Okay, ask questions because we're gonna move on. I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna skip really stupid ones. Ruari F316, Papa Swolio, best ways to build lacking body parts after an injury. Figure out why you got injured to begin with and fix those issues and practice your mobility and things that will reinforce the joint or whatever the injury is. A lot of times there's a reason. You have to this always matters when it comes to an injury. What caused the injury? Was it a car accident and you got hit and it was impact and it was unnatural impact and this, what, and the other? Or did you just do the same exercise without enough rest periods and you have an overuse injury? So there's a lot of different ways you can get an injury and that does matter. So lacking body parts after an injury, it should have been the things that, well, I mean, there's usually if there's an injury based on lifting, it's because there was a lacking of that attention before the injury occurred. So the best ways is to do the same way you would build body parts before an injury. You want to progressively overload. If it's one side, if you hurt one leg or you hurt an arm, then you want to prioritize that. If one bicep is smaller, you want to do single arm exercises and you want to prioritize that left arm first. So you do your left arm, and then with no rest, you probably go and do the right arm. You want to prioritize the left arm more than you prioritize the right. It doesn't mean more volume. It just means you want to train that first. And again, if you have lacking body parts, regardless of an injury, you want to train it first in the workout. You want to train those body parts first in the workout, and you would like to train those body parts first in the workout after a recovery day. That way you're the most recovered for those body parts. Again, your program doesn't have to be a push-pull legs or an upper lower or total body or this. It doesn't really matter. What areas do you need to prioritize? You can only prioritize one or two, really. You can only prioritize whatever you train first. The first things you train your workout, that's going to get the most attention, the most work, the most focus, the most results. So prioritize those things first. Cupcakes don't kill. Is there chair yoga on the site? Yeah, it's in the yoga studio. We talk about chair yoga all the time. I haven't checked. So, what? All right, you're getting to Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
But I've been focusing on my nutrition / sleep, and brain gains will come later today too. Is there chair yoga on the site? I haven't checked. You haven't checked. Yes, there is. Just go to the chair yoga section. All right. You knew you were going to get that kind of an answer. You asked for it. Yes, we have so much yoga. Ignacio Ortiz, 21. Papasolio, again, another question. What do you think about powerlifting? In terms of what? What do you think about it? I don't really think about powerlifting. Personally, I don't care what my 1 rep max is. That's usually what powerlifting is referring to. But I do train for strength. Strength and hypertrophy, very integrated. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, try to tease that out. Like, well, there's strength training and then there's hypertrophy training. You're not building muscle without getting stronger. So focus on strength. I do sets of 3. I'll do sets of 4. I don't do sets of 2 or 1 rep max. It's just not as effective for getting the stimulating reps for hypertrophy. But you still can build muscle, of course. So what do I think about powerlifting? I don't know. Competitions? What do I think about 1 rep max? Look, people are going to do what they like to do. There's a lot of people, and I'm always I usually use the same examples. There are a lot of people that like to do race walking. There are people that like to do rock climbing. There are people that like to do sailing. And I'll say, like, this is great. There are a lot of different people in the world, and it's great that people like different things, because if everyone wanted to build muscle, there would be, there, I guess, would be more gyms. Like, the gyms would always be crowded and everyone would be talking about the same thing all the time, and it would get boring. So with any kind of interest that you have, there's a lot of people that are interested in it, and there's things to do. So people like to do powerlifting for whatever reason. They like the competition. They love getting under and seeing that 1 rep. I get it. I understand. Strength is absolutely very important. But I think we all know that a lot of powerlifters, man, they are not healthy people. Like, they do not look good. So it depends on what you're into. But strength training is fantastic. And also when you're competing for your 1 rep max and you're in that kind of competition, there's also, whenever there's a competition, right? And I shouldn't just say this, because when you're bodybuilding, you're lifting, you're competing with yourself too, but there's always just an increased risk of injury because you're pushing yourself to a limit, trying to beat someone else. And a lot of times powerlifters get hurt all the time too, but people get hurt in general. So anyway, Warren Nasted, can I have a rest day? I don't know. Can you, Warren? Can you? You know what Warren's favorite quote is? Franks and beans. Get it, Warren? Okay. Can you have a rest day? Yeah. If you've earned it, if that's part of your program, you can have one. I don't know. Can you? Alabastard says, most of them that I see in my sports therapy practice are binge eaters. No. Well, again, when it comes, Cupcakes. Oh my God, I found it. I fucking found it. Where's the shame bell? You found it? You mean you used your eyes? I found the chair yoga. How did you find it? I went to the yoga studio and I clicked on chair yoga. Wow. You did?
Shame.
You did?
Shame. Shame.
Well, when the app drops, you can just go to the search function, type in chair, and boom, it'll just pop right up. But yes. I love how you can ask, do we have chair yoga? And it's like, yep, we have so much shit. We have so much shit. All right, no questions at the buzzer. You had to go to page 2. Oh, you had to go to the second page? Oh no. Oh no. Or like kid pics? Oh no. All right, let's go balls deep. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's deep. All right, fam, hit the thumbs up button, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you are not yet checking us out on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. Spotify, The Daily Swole, leave a 5-star review if you enjoy the show. Apple Podcast, leave and write a review, 5 stars if you enjoy the show. Thank you so much for doing so. If you haven't yet done it, share the show with your friends. Please do. So a lot of you, how many of you voted already? How many of you voted already? Now, you might have seen these stories of someone set a fire to a Dropbox. First off, I think Dropboxes should be illegal. I think it's insane for anyone. I think you're an insane person if you drop your ballot off in a fucking box. You're just asking for your vote to not be counted. Not to mention, this is in Washington State where it happened. So I do not believe this is a conservative lighting votes on fire. Conservatives are in favor of actual election integrity. Likely this is either feds or leftists that are trying to wreak havoc, because if Trump is seen to be in the lead, as he certainly seems to, then the left can complain, oh no, it was rigged. So they say that Republicans or Trump supporters, whatever, extreme ultra MAGA right wing, blah 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 blah. You know, they don't accept the election. The Democrats didn't accept the 2016 election. They never accept the election. They always complain. They always point and call the other side fascist. We're just hearing about it more because we have social media, and the rhetoric has been ramped up. And this is all coming from the left. It's all coming from the left. And you know, it's the same thing with January 6th, the same thing with all of these psyops. And if you have these types of occurrences happening, you know, you can point to, well, we lost votes. There's all this stuff going on and they're cheating and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I don't think this is good. But honestly, if you're dropping off your vote in a box on the side of the road, okay? If you are dropping off your vote in a box on the side of the road, maybe deserve is not the right word, but yeah, like I guess you deserve to have your vote not counted. Why would you do that? Go to the early voting, or show up on the day. Make the necessary arrangements. If you can't, this whole voting season, voting month or 2 months, whatever it is, we got to get rid of this. It's got to be one day voting in person, paper ballots. That's the only way you can have integrity. It really is. No electronic shit. It doesn't work. It could be manipulated. It could be hacked. Have you guys seen these podcasts where they have people come on and show how quickly and how fast a voting machine can get hacked? They're not secure. They're not secure. Anyway, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. One more thing here about false flags. If you don't know what a false flag is, it's essentially a government operation that makes it seem like, let's say, someone was attacked or something happened, and obviously it's not true. So they'll point to, let's say, just theoretically speaking, of course, an undercover like FBI agent threw a pipe bomb in that box and lit it on fire. And then, oh, look, there's election interference and chaos in the streets. So they sow dissent and cause chaos, and then plausible deniability, et cetera, et cetera. So this was from MSNBC. And if you don't think the media is evil. You're not paying attention. You don't hate the media enough. So they posted this yesterday or the day before. Breaking extremists. Start again. Start that again.
Matt Damon.
Extremists inspired by conspiracy theories. Okay. Extremists inspired by conspiracy theories. Nice. Pose major threat to 2024 elections. U.S. intelligence warns. Ooh. First off, that's not really trustworthy. MSNBC is not trustworthy. Listen to that rhetoric. Extremists inspired by conspiracy theories. Don't know what that means. Pose major threat. How so? Again, this is the kind of things that are being leaked out in order to justify actions taken after November 5th. Okay. The reason why they're seeding this, in other words, you're more familiar with seeing this. You see, oh my God, stuff's happening. So then when they have to take action, when they have to invoke military law, when they have to send out the National Guard, when they have to shut down and remove people and ban people for election misinformation, blah, 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 this is coming. This is coming. Fortunately, it's going to be interesting because Elon Musk owns X, which is fantastic. So imagine if he didn't purchase X. There could be bans on Facebook or YouTube in this. I mean, obviously, Joe Rogan's podcast with Trump has been censored. You can't find it. You can't find it in search. He just posted on X again because people can't find it. You type in Trump Rogan, it doesn't pull up. You have to go to Joe Rogan and then click on his channel and go to the video, which already has like 40 million views in 2 or 3 days, which is insane. So anyway, they're seeding this out. They're putting it out there that way. It's more, well, we expected this. Well, they were saying that the U.S. intelligence was warning that there were threats to the election. Why do you think MSNBC is putting this out there? Why do you think they're being vague? They know that Trump is crushing. They know that Trump is likely going to win. So they're putting this out there to justify actions and their response to Hitler, literally Hitler winning. It's insane. That's the scariest part. This kind of liberal media is to blame for the assassination attempt on Trump. They are to blame for the divisiveness in this country. The left is to blame. It's always the left. The left wants power. The left wants destruction. That's why they're always trying to deconstruct math. They're deconstructing language. They're deconstructing gender. This is what the left does. It destroys. It's always destroyed and has taken over the, quote, Democratic Party. It's just the left. Leftists are absolutely insane. And any classical liberals that are still voting Democrat are ignorant and brainwashed. Elizabeth says, I found it right away on Spotify and YouTube. Yeah, search doesn't pull it up. Depends on when you found it. But I've tried the search. It doesn't work. Millions of people were posting videos showing that it doesn't work. It just doesn't populate. And don't forget, these apps don't work the same way for everyone. So certain regional things, they might block it in certain areas. They might block certain IPs and this and the other. It could be randomized where 80% of searches don't. Some show up for plausible deniability, and it'll be a low percentage of people that will actually see it. So people are like, no, I found it. A lot of times that's how it happens. A lot of times and that would make sense, wouldn't it? If they block it completely, some people get it because then you have two sides and you're like, well, I found it. It was not a problem. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's a conspiracy theory. But it's not. So I had found it at one point. But anyway, let's get into one of the main topics of today's show. Joe Rogan did post this. So if you don't know, a lot of people were saying like Kamala Harris turned down the podcast and some and the other. So I'm glad that Rogan actually put this out there. Rogan says, for the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is just to have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen. Yeah, get to know her as a human being. Cool. Anyway, obviously Joe is exceptionally neutral in this. And a lot of people are saying, Joe, she's a sitting vice president. Joe should go to her. That's insane. She needs Joe. Joe doesn't need her. Joe doesn't need Kamala Harris. He doesn't need to go and do it's not an interview. It's a conversation. That's the difference. They want him to go to her to do an hour. You know she's going to show up late. They're going to do like 30 minutes. They're going to try to edit it. That's fucked up. What their camera is there, that's insane. It's not the Joe Rogan Experience. It's not his podcast. No, you go there. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. She could totally do it, but they don't want it on his terms because they know that she's going to be absolutely a train wreck. So this is the Joe Rogan episode. Understand that this is all you need to know. It's all you need to know. She will not go to him to be on his show. And a lot of people, like I said, were saying she's the vice president. He needs to do this. No, he doesn't. No one has the right to someone else's labor. Joe built his platform. Joe's been streaming for 16 or whatever fucking years. Joe's done tons of episodes and hours of content where no one was watching. Joe built this. That's his. You're not, and then you're just going to get on his show. Oh, you come to me and then I'll get access to all of your audience the way I want it done. The fuck are you crazy? Are you an insane person? That's insane narcissism, ego. It's because she can't do it. It's because she can't do it. She shouldn't have mentioned it. They shouldn't have mentioned the Rogan thing. They shouldn't have done any of that unless she was going to do it his way. Imagine, like, if someone's like, hey, do you want to be on my show? You have to come to me and do it my way. I don't think you understand. This is my show. So he was being very diplomatic about it, but that's insane. It isn't the Joe Rogan Experience. It's not the Joe Rogan show. If you're going there, it's just going to be it's not an interview. It's a conversation. Again, imagine a conversation with this woman. It's going to be a train wreck. Otherwise, she would do it. If you have the opportunity to reach hundreds of millions of people, wouldn't you want to do it? Not to mention the audience. Joe Rogan's audience is what she needs. She needs to try to scrape together some male voters. Joe Rogan's audience is predominantly male. She went on Shannon Sharp. Who's watching that shit? Very few people are going to watch that or give a shit for that softball nonsense. So this gives you the answer. She doesn't have to go on Joe Rogan. That's the answer right there. That's what she wants. Pfft. Right. There's your answer right there. And that's right. Phoenix on YouTube says that's how lefties are, though. They want to control when and how you speak. Of course. And this is what she did before with who was it? She showed up late to the interview and they got like 25 minutes, whatever interview she did. Was it CNN or who was that with? It doesn't matter. So they only want to do an hour. And of course, she'll probably be late and it'll be compressed because any moment, any minute that they can cut down, because then it's not a conversation. You're going to have a conversation for a short period of time. Now, of course, you can have a conversation, but you know it's going to be scripted. It's going to be compressed. It's going to be with cue cards or any kind of cues or behind. It's going to be on their terms, and it can't be. It's not the same thing. And I think JD Vance actually agreed to do, and he's going to be on, I don't know if it's going to be today or this week. I think JD Vance is going on Rogan, which is going to be, that's going to blow people's nips off too. Because JD Vance is so well-spoken, but he's weird. And it's going to blow the roof off all of these different, the propaganda. I think a lot more people, hopefully more and more people are actually waking up. I don't know what you guys are experiencing with people that, you could drop that in the chat. I don't know how, with your personal lives, I just, anytime I hear the term undecided voter, who the fuck is undecided? How little do you have to be paying attention to be, I'm not sure if I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris or Donald. How are you not sure? How do you, you got to be the most ignorant person or just the evil, just a bad actor. You're just a liar. You're a liar, a grifter. How can you actually be honestly, well, I'm not sure. Then you're just not paying attention at all. Not even close. But anyway, drop your thoughts in the comments. Maybe your personal experiences with friends or family that are retarded. All right, let's see. Let's do one video. Let's do one of these. Let's do this one to close it off, and then we'll give away today's Swole card. This one's called Baby Drag. Oh boy. Baby Drag. Let's do this one.
What's in the box?
Baby Drag, and we'll read some of your thoughts in the comments after we watch this train wreck of a video, I'm assuming.
What are your pronouns?
She and they. I am 6 years old and I do drag.
Asa is a baby drag queen.
This is where all of my dresses go.
He performs at drag shows as
Lovely Twirl!
He started doing this 4, 5, now 6 years old. He is by far the youngest performer we've seen.
There's even adult performers that sometimes he can outperform. He fell in love with it. There's no turning back. Now we almost have one performance a month that Lulu gets to do.
You want to practice? I really like drag and they don't want to stop.
It's just about living in the moment and what's exciting for right now. And I think wherever that takes us is where we go.
I apologize for showing child abuse on this show. Like, that's not my intention. That's not really what straight to hell, for sure. Let me tell you a little bit about how many of you have kids. Do your children like to dress up? Well, it's Halloween season. It's Halloween season. So kids love to put on costumes. Kids love to pretend that they're a dragon. They love to pretend like they're a superhero. I'm Superman. I'm this. So this child is just living out, right? They're dressing and they're getting attention, love and attention. That's what children want. They want love and attention from their parents. So this is child abuse. This is the parents. The parents are the problem. Your kid can play dress up. A lot of kids want to play dress up, or they'll try putting on a dress and be like, oh, I don't want to. They're trying to garner love and attention. That's what children do. They're looking for love and acceptance. This is why it's so sinister and evil, because you have a lot of predators out there that will tell your child whatever the kid wants to hear. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There is no, they're trying to form reality. You're trying to form some sort of reality when you're a child. It's up to the parents to facilitate creativity, but not delusion. That's serious child abuse. Again, you might have a different opinion. I don't see how you can have a different, it just doesn't make any sense. There's no such thing as a trans child. You are not a developed human being. You're not. You don't know. There is no such thing. It's just what you're told. And if you get love and attention by saying a certain thing, or saying that I'm a boy, or saying you're a girl, that's from the parents. That's from the public indoctrination schools. It's not coming from the kids. It's not coming from the children. The real evil is that kids are innocent. Kids are innocent. They don't know. You're programming. You're installing an operating system in the child. And the problem is you are installing something that is fundamentally immoral, because there's no reality. There's no rationality. There's no logic there. You're installing some sort of fantasy operating system, and you're setting this child up for a lifetime of misery and self-hatred and resentment. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Let's get into some responses based on the election responses. I'm curious. Hogwild says she's going to lose the election by herself. By the way, hashtag Make America Swole. Drop that in the comments. We'll read some more of your posts. She's going to lose the election by herself. Trump can sit quietly and watch her sink her own ship. Cerny says she can't handle the truth. She can't handle the truth.
And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives.
Because she doesn't know what the truth is. Mark says, told a few of my old gym members that I'm voting for Trump and got chewed out for it. I told them everything they say about the right is what the left is, but they're too blind to see otherwise. And a reason for this is that the right understands and pays attention to the left. I read books about Marxism and communism. Most people understand what the other side is. We know the evils, but they don't pay attention. So the left does not watch conservative media. They don't listen to, they'll watch a clip of Joe Rogan and then share it. They don't listen to the whole podcast they'll take a clip from a rally. They don't listen to the whole speech or the whole rally. They don't. They post a headline, they move on. They don't understand. because it's really just logic and common sense. It's not crazy. There's nothing on the right that is insane. It's, hey, let's lock the front door. Let's not let random people in and criminals and murderers. Oh, so controversial. Let's increase our energy independence. That way, energy is everything. Energy is money. Energy is everything. Makes everything cheaper. More jobs, more prosperity. Cool. That sounds like a good idea. You know, everything is just logical. Let's improve things around here. Well, that's terrible. We want things to be a shithole. And you know they want things to be a shithole because have you been to San Francisco? Have you been to New York lately? I will avoid those places like the plague for the rest of my life. I grew up in New York City. And what it looks like now is just disgusting. I always thought it was always disgusting. Cities are gross, in my opinion. It's no way to live. But I grew up there in the 80s. It was bad. Okay, let's see here. Miss Texas Fit, considering I live in Austin, I haven't met a single person voting for Kamala. Jen says, my mom gets so mad at me for not wanting to vote for Kamala because she's a woman and I tell her to open her eyes and see what's going on. LMFAO, we argue about it, so I'll let her live in the bubble. The saddest thing is to vote, well, she's a woman. She has a vagina. I'm going to vote for her. That's not a good idea. She has a vagina and she wants people to kill their children. Cool. I'll vote for her. Most people are more concerned about not being able to afford food. Imagine the issue that you are voting on. Not about prices of everything, housing prices, interest rates, everything through the fucking roof. Imagine abortion just being the most important thing. You could just not have sex and not be a whore. You could do that. That's always an option. And for the record, I'm not in favor of, there are applications for it, especially if you're attacked, rape, incest, like shit that's absolutely evil and abhorrent. I just don't know why there has to be arguments about that. It's just insane. It's also not a top issue. It really isn't. Leave it to the states, vote how you want locally, and then move. If that's so important, then move to San Francisco or New York. Problem solved. Problem solved. Do you realize you can move? Do you realize if you don't like the weather where you live, you don't change the weather? I don't like hurricanes. Well, maybe I shouldn't live in Florida. I don't like snow. Then don't live in Montana. Okay, let's see here. Dismal cyanide. I live in Colorado, which tends to lean quite left, but it was nice to see a big old Women for Trump flag flying while I was out and about yesterday. Nice. So we'll see how that goes. All right, Swole card time. Here we go. Make America Swole. Let's give away this Swole card, Yas Beaches. You a beach. No, you a beach. Make America Swole. Today's winner. Landed right on it. It is, in fact, I just read your post too. Dismal Cyanide. Congratulations on the Runglay. All right, DC. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3098 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. All right, fam. Another reminder. Congratulations, DC. Reminder to check out papaswolio.com for the 20% off the entire site. Everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Look at that guy. Who's that guy? Who's that fucking guy?
Hi, puppy.
Check out the deadlifts, Swoleverine. We got all our best sellers listed at the top. Ooh, those are sexy. Go and check it out. Plus all the new releases. We got the Tallow Butter 2024. We have the Lift, GTTFG, Hope Design, Shreddy Krueger, Michael Swolio, Jack-O-Lantern, Beetlejuiced, Optimus Pump. So many awesome designs. Go and check it out. 20% off the entire site. Best time to get all those nip covers because the holidays are coming up and, you know, we might sell out certain colors or certain sizes. So go and check it out. Now's a great time to pick up some new nip covers. It's always a good time to pick up some new nip covers. And of course, we drop stuff every single week. So check it out, papaswolio.com. And of course, swolenormousx.com to join the fam today and get access to all of our training programs. We got hundreds of yoga classes and mobility classes and the highly anticipated Swolenormous app, which is dropping very, very soon. I've been edging you for months and you're almost going to get a chance to bust. You can get to bust soon. It's going to be very exciting. You're going to like it. So join us now. Best time to lock down your membership, swolenormousx.com. Join the fam today, and we'll see you tomorrow for $30.99. And that signature series is coming up on Thursday. Very excited. So see you tomorrow for the last episode of the 3000s, the 3,100s, I guess, because we're not done with the 3000s for another 900 days on a couple years, but it's coming up. Peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose. Yeah, boy. Papa Swolio, out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing, like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Ay, yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. I'll topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons.